Good morning. Oh my god, my hair. I look like the Roni neutron. Good morning, audience. My name is Roni, and this is my first video in English, as you saw from the title. Well, actually, it's a bit of a clickbait because I started making videos back in 2012 in English.
Hello, my name is Roni and welcome to my new channel.
And then around 2017, I had this secret channel, which was in English. So this isn't the first video, but there is like a 8-year gap in between. So yeah, I lied. Sorry about that. But you are probably wondering, why am I making a video in English? Am I trying to conquer the world and be international YouTuber, or are there any other reasons to speak English? Well, I have a reason, but I will tell you it later on, because currently our house is a total mess, because I'm the only one in our family who isn't sick. My wife is sick, my baby is sick, and the daughter is, well, not that sick anymore, but she was sick like 3 days, so I have been trying to keep all together, but sometimes life looks like this.
If you have on your plate some kind of a tedious task that you have to do, it's quite often easier to do if you have some kind of a prize, which in this case is a cup of coffee. But first, I have to earn it by cleaning the living room.
When we bought this playing kitchen, I didn't expect that then I should have real dishes and fake toy dishes that I have to do every single day. And now the living room looks like we have everything in control. But every single parent knows that in 10 minutes it will be totally the same as it was. But now, coffee.
Then, as a champion, you can enjoy your prize in peace.
Daddy drinks coffee first. I have this secret project that I've been doing. I'm once again writing a book. I'm trying to write it every single day for like 10 minutes. But of course, it's quite hard to focus here.
This morning we woke up before 6 a.m. so there was over 2 hours of time to do whatever, write a book and play and so forth. Eventually, it was time to start the day with a little trip.
My day starts by taking the child to daycare, and after that I will go back home and then change to bike, and then I will bike to work.
During the last 6 months, I have been learning English and I have become so much better at it. How, you might ask? Well, the method that I have been using lies in the bike trip that I do every single day to work. The morning was a bit more rainy than I anticipated, but to be honest, I didn't really care because it's all about clothing. I came to the office around 9 a.m.
Okay, Roni, what is it? Tell us already, what is the method that you have been using for becoming so good in English language? I will tell it to you, and it may be a bit controversial, and thus I haven't told it before to you, but okay. I'm a pretty normal guy when it comes to speaking English as a Finnish person. I understand English very well. I watch TV shows in English, YouTube videos in English, I read books in English. But then, if you put me in a situation where I have to talk with somebody, it's a totally different situation.
Yeah, I have been Oudi.
You have been Oudi?
Yeah.
So it's a different thing understanding English rather than speaking English. And how do you learn speaking English? Well, you have to speak it with somebody. And then the controversial thing is that I have been talking with AI. I know there is a lot of controversy around AI, but I have studied English for 20 years. And now, as I have used AI, I have become so much better in a couple of months. How? Well, every single day as I commute to work, I talk with AI around 20 minutes.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, hope you're doing great today.
Today I'm filming a video where I speak only English
So with AI, I can communicate, and if I, for example, don't know a word, I can ask that, hey, what is ketchup in English? And he will answer, it's ketchup. And by doing this, I have become quite fluent. For example, 1 year ago, if I would have done this video, it had, well, I wouldn't have done it. But today, I decided that I will put to test, have I really become fluent when it comes to talking with real people rather than robots. And I scheduled a lunch meeting with a friend of mine whose mother tongue, native language is English. And we will see if I'm able to communicate with him.
Where am I? Why there is a fence there? Why there is a fence here? It reads something there. Stop. What? Is there a Sonni somewhere? See you next time, Sonni. What is Sonni in English? This should be the right building. Let's go inside.
Look who it is. Dave Cat. Is this the restaurant?
It is, yeah.
Let's go there.
We ate some lunch and catched up on family stuff, after which Dave invited me to check out his new job.
So people who don't know, Dave made videos himself, but nowadays you are retired.
Well, semi-retired.
YouTuber, semi-retired, yeah. And this guy got a real job.
A real 9 to 5, yeah. A space company.
Space.
Yeah, Kuva Space.
What the hell? From YouTube to space. Okay, there is a future after your social media career, I guess.
Future after
In space.
influencers, in space, yeah.
When I walked in, I didn't have a clue on where did I just end up. Apparently, there is a company in Finland making satellites to space.
So you are saying this is a satellite?
That's a satellite, yeah.
Is it so small?
So small, yeah.
How is this? I imagine that a satellite is like as big as this house.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what people think, but they can be small. It is really good because, I mean, if you think about all the space junk and stuff that's floating around, if you keep it nice and small, there's less of that. And actually these ones, they burn up as soon as they come down to Earth. So there's no junk.
How did you become a space scientist? From YouTube to space scientist.
I know, right? Yeah.
So you guys have 2 satellites
Yeah.
in the space,
2 hyperspectral satellites.
and they are now on the dark side of the world.
Yes. Yeah, I guess kind of going up past the States. Yeah, next one, 20 minutes, we'll come back and see that.
20 minutes?
Yeah. If we
Is it like going so fast?
Yeah.
We'll be here in 20 minutes.
Yeah. It's like 7,500 meters a second or something like that.
They are in Hawaii right now. And they're like 20 minutes here.
Yep. Yeah, they come around every 90 minutes or so.
Yeah. Okay. What? Okay.
As I said before, in real life, the topic of discussion can be surprising. Well, I definitely didn't expect to talk about space stuff today.
Okay, pool boy.
We played some pool while waiting the satellites to fly from the other side of the world. What a crazy sentence. What is life?
Oh, that was good.
Then things started to happen. This antenna received information that the satellites had gathered while traveling around the globe.
So those were like 15 minutes ago
Yep.
in Hawaii. And now they are on top of Norway.
Yeah.
So the reason why I was vlogging today was that I decided to make a video in English.
Oh, wow. That makes sense now.
And you are the guy who makes videos in Finnish because you speak English, so now it's vice versa.
Okay, that's cool. How has it been going?
Well, the question was more to you that
Okay.
how is the life as like an English-speaking native language in Finland?
Finnish, I've been trying to learn actively for 10 years. If, on the rare chance I do try and speak Finnish, it's so burningly obvious that I'm bad, and then I go, oh, okay, yeah, we could switch to English. Okay, fine.
So it goes often like you start with Finnish and then, okay, let's make it easier for both of us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I've gotten to the point now where I understand like most of the important stuff. And I speak Swedish, which...
Wait, you speak Swedish?
Yes.
But not Finnish?
No.
And you have lived here for like 10 years?
Something like that, yeah. But that's the thing with languages, like my home language is English and Swedish because my wife is Swedish speaking, so she speaks Swedish to our son. And so I've just picked up Swedish from just life, everyday life. And Finnish, I've been trying to learn actively for 10 years. But I think it's that kind of everyday necessity, and like so many Finns speak such good English. So that kind of need isn't as like burning as it would be if I would like, I don't know, move to a country where they don't speak so well English.
I somehow was able to guess that this will happen, but at least the rain has stopped and the pedestal, what is it called? Well, this thing is dry. Nice.
On my way back to the office, the bull hunting continued.
What is this video? This is meant to be about me speaking English, but then first I went to some satellite business and now I'm bull spotting. But no bull to be found.
There is like 2 eagles there. If you can see, let's zoom even further. What are those? Comment down below if you know birds. Maybe the bull has swum to the city because there is no fence. Oh no. How do I go through this? Do I turn around or do I want to see a bull? Let's go the bull way. This is scary. I don't want to flomata. It's going to be very hard to explain to my wife what did I do at work today. Oh, now my bike is falling. What is this endless route? I have been walking for like 15 minutes now. I just wanted to see a bull. Yeah, it was nice to meet you, Dave. Why is your office space in the swamp? Okay, here is the bull place. Duckboards ahead. Please use Espoo waterfront walkaway if you are on bike. Well, where was this sign on that side? Could have helped.
Now, as I found the right bull spot, I continued my search. Just as I was giving up, I heard something coming towards me.
Okay, this is not a bull. It's a starship. Crazy world we live in.
I guess all in all, if you want to be good at any language, it comes down to 2 things. First, repetition. Talking another language is like a muscle. Oh, I have a muscle. Surprising. You can watch TV shows and you can read books in English, but it will take you to one level. But if you want to get above that, then you have to really speak it as well. And secondly, it comes down to confidence. I don't even know if I have become any better at speaking English, but I'm more confident at it. I put myself to situations where I have to use it. And that is probably even more important in some cases than knowing the language, knowing the words. For example, when I was in Colombia and I went to a taxi and it was a 45-minute drive and I had to speak only Spanish with the taxi driver and he was just constantly talking to me. I knew like 10 words, but we somewhat understood each other. It just needed courage and confidence to use the language that I didn't even know. But yeah, this must be the most random video that I have ever made, but I love it. Hopefully you do too. Thank you for watching and like and subscribe. Ai vitsi, toi jotenkin toimii englanniksi niin paljon paremmin. Tykkää ja tilaa. Hei, saatiin 50 000 tilaa täyteen. Kiva juttu. Mä en tiedä, miten se nyt muuttaa mun elämää, mutta kiva juttu. Moi moi!